One day you wake up and realize your life is working, but you're not. You did everything right. You became reliable, responsible, strong, and somewhere in that process, you disappeared. This isn't burnout, it's not depression, and it's not failure. It's something most men don't realize until it's almost too late. If your life looks good but feels empty, there's a reason, and these 5 signs will show you exactly what it is. He stands in front of the mirror every morning, but he doesn't recognize the man staring back. Not because his appearance changed, but because somewhere along the way, he stopped being himself and became what everyone else needed him to be. The promotion came, the title changed, the bank account grew, but something else disappeared, something he can't name, something that used to make him feel alive. This isn't about success or failure. This is about something deeper, something most men won't admit until it's almost too late. This is about losing your soul, not in the religious sense, but in the most practical, devastating way possible. The slow erasure of who you actually are, until all that remains is the function you perform for others. This channel is for the man who stayed strong when no one noticed, the man who carried responsibility quietly and slowly disappeared. Here, strength is questioned, silence is exposed, and the cost of being the strong one is finally spoken out loud. Here's what nobody tells you about losing your soul. It doesn't happen in one moment. There's no dramatic breaking point, no clear before and after. It happens in 1,000 small surrenders, 1,000 times you said yes when you meant no, 1,000 moments you performed instead of being. And one day you wake up and realize you've become a stranger to yourself. You're successful, you're functional, you're reliable, but you're gone. If you've ever looked at your life and thought, this is what I wanted, so why does it feel so empty? This is for you.
Because these 5 signs will show you exactly how a man loses his soul, and more importantly, whether you're losing yours right now. Sign 1. He can't remember the last time he wanted something for himself. Not needed something, wanted something. There's a difference. This man knows exactly what everyone else wants from him. His boss wants results. His partner wants presence. His kids want attention. His parents want pride. His friends want the version of him that makes them comfortable. And he delivers. He's excellent at meeting everyone else's needs. But if you asked him, what do you actually want? Not what you should want, not what would be responsible to want, but what you genuinely desire, he freezes. Because he spent so long scanning for other people's needs that he's lost the ability to recognize his own. His wants became background noise. Their needs became his primary signal. This is called self-erasure, and it's the first sign a man has lost his soul. You see it in how he talks. He says, we should, I need to, it makes sense to. But he never says, I want to, because wanting feels selfish, indulgent, irresponsible. So he buried it so deep he forgot it existed. You see it in how he spends his free time. He doesn't have hobbies, he has obligations. He doesn't have interests, he has responsibilities. And when someone asks, what do you do for fun? He struggles to answer, because he can't remember the last time he did something purely because it brought him joy. This man has become so good at being what others need that he's forgotten how to be himself. And the tragedy is, he thinks this is maturity. He thinks this is what grown men do. But it's not maturity, it's disappearance. When you lose the ability to want, you lose the ability to choose. And when you lose the ability to choose, you're not living your life. You're just managing other people's expectations of it. Sign 2. Everything feels like performance.
This man wakes up and puts on a mask before he even gets out of bed. At work, he's the competent professional. At home, he's the reliable partner. With friends, he's the steady guy. And none of these versions are lies exactly, but none of them are completely true either. He's learned to read the room and become whatever that room needs. Not consciously, not manipulatively, but as a survival mechanism that became so automatic he doesn't even notice he's doing it anymore. You see it in his language. He uses phrases like, I should be grateful, I can't complain, it could be worse. These aren't expressions of gratitude, they're expressions of guilt for feeling anything authentic. He's performing contentment while suffocating inside. You see it in his relationships. Every conversation feels slightly scripted. He knows what to say to keep things smooth, what topics to avoid, what version of himself to present. And it works. People like him. People rely on him. But nobody actually knows him. Because knowing him would require him to stop performing long enough to show what's underneath. And he's terrified that underneath the performance, there's nothing worth knowing. So he keeps the mask on, even when he's alone, because taking it off means confronting the emptiness he's been running from. This is soul loss, when authenticity becomes so foreign that performance feels more real than truth, when you've been acting so long that you forgot what it feels like to just be. Carl Jung said we wear a persona to meet the world, but the tragedy is when the persona becomes the only self we know, when the mask we wear for others becomes the face we see in the mirror. That's when a man realizes he's lost himself completely. Sign 3. He feels nothing or everything, never something specific. Ask this man how he's feeling, and he'll say fine, tired, stressed. But these aren't feelings, they're conditions. They're safe words that don't require vulnerability or precision.
The truth is he's experiencing emotional numbness, punctuated by occasional floods he can't control. He'll go weeks feeling nothing, moving through life in a fog, checking boxes, performing tasks, but not actually present. Then something small happens. Someone cuts him off in traffic, his kid talks back, work email at midnight, and suddenly he's rage, despair, or panic, and he doesn't understand why. Why such a small thing triggered such a massive response? But it's not about the small thing. It's about the months of unfelt feelings that just found an exit point. This is what happens when you lose your soul. Your emotional system doesn't stop working. It just goes underground. And underground emotions don't disappear. They accumulate. They build pressure. And eventually they explode in ways that seem disproportionate to the trigger, but are perfectly proportionate to the backlog. You see it in his body. Chronic tension in his shoulders, headaches, digestive issues, insomnia. His body is trying to feel what his mind won't allow. And he medicates it with work, alcohol, exercise, anything to avoid sitting with what's actually happening inside. You see it in his relationships. He's emotionally unavailable not because he doesn't care, but because he genuinely doesn't know what he's feeling. So when someone asks what's wrong, he says nothing, because that's what it feels like. Nothing. A vast, hollow nothing where his emotional life used to be. This numbness isn't peace, it's shutdown. And the man experiencing it knows something is wrong, but he can't name it, can't fix it, can't even fully feel it. So he just keeps moving, hoping it will pass, not realizing that movement without feeling is just existence without living. Sign 4. His life is objectively good, but subjectively empty. This is the cruelest sign because it makes no logical sense. He has everything he was told would make him happy: the career, the family, the house, the stability.
People look at his life and think he's winning, but inside there's this hollow feeling that won't go away, a quiet desperation that makes no sense given his circumstances. And that disconnect between external success and internal emptiness makes him feel ungrateful, broken, or crazy, so he doesn't talk about it. How do you complain about emptiness when your life looks full? How do you admit you're dying inside when you're thriving outside? You don't. You just keep performing gratitude while suffocating in silence. This is the trap of achieving goals that weren't actually yours, of building a life that looks right but feels wrong, of succeeding at someone else's definition of success while failing at your own unacknowledged one. You see it in how he talks about his achievements. There's no joy in them, only relief. Relief that he met the expectation, satisfied the requirement, proved he wasn't a failure. But relief isn't fulfillment, it's just the absence of immediate pressure. You see it in how he spends his time. He's achieved the life he's supposed to want, but he doesn't actually enjoy living it. The moments between obligations feel heavy, not free. Rest feels like waiting for the next demand, not recharging. This man built everything right and ended up with nothing that matters. And the question that haunts him at 3 in the morning is, if I have everything I'm supposed to want, why do I feel like I have nothing I actually need? That question is his soul trying to speak. And until he listens to it, until he admits that external success without internal alignment is just expensive emptiness, he'll keep building and keep feeling hollow. Sign 5. He can't remember who he was before he became what everyone needed. Ask this man to describe himself and he'll tell you his roles: father, husband, employee, provider. But those are functions, not identity. Those are what he does, not who he is.
Push deeper and ask, who are you when nobody's watching, when nobody needs anything, when you're just alone with yourself? And he goes blank, because he hasn't been alone with himself in so long that he doesn't know who that person is anymore. He remembers vaguely that he used to have interests, opinions, dreams that were his own, but they've been buried under so many years of prioritizing everyone else's needs that they feel like memories from someone else's life. This is complete soul loss. When you've been performing for so long that you forgot what it feels like to just exist without an audience. When you've been meeting needs for so long that you forgot you're allowed to have needs. When you've been becoming what others require for so long that you lost touch with who you actually are. You see it in his eyes. There's a flatness there, a resignation. Not depression exactly, more like acceptance of a life lived on autopilot. He's not sad about it, he's just numb to it. You see it in his relationships. People love the version of him he presents, but nobody loves him because nobody knows him, and he can't even blame them because he doesn't know himself either. This is the end stage of soul loss. Not anger, not rebellion, just quiet disappearance. He's still here physically, still functioning, still performing, but the person he actually is, the one beneath all the roles and performances, that person is gone. So what do you do when you realize you've lost your soul? First, you stop calling it weakness and start calling it what it is, self-abandonment. You didn't fail, you succeeded at the wrong thing. You became excellent at meeting everyone else's needs while completely neglecting your own. Second, you give yourself permission to want again. Not just need, want. Start small. What meal do you actually want, not what's healthy or convenient? What music do you actually want to hear, not what's appropriate? Rebuild the muscle of desire that atrophied from disuse.
Third, you stop performing, even if it makes people uncomfortable. Let the mask slip. Show the exhaustion, the confusion, the emptiness, not as a performance of honesty, but as actual honesty. And yes, some people will be uncomfortable. Good. Those are the people who needed you fake. Fourth, you reconnect with what you feel, even when it's uncomfortable. Sit with the numbness. Sit with the rage. Sit with the emptiness. Don't medicate it. Don't fix it. Just acknowledge it. Your emotions aren't the problem. Your disconnection from them is. Fifth, you question everything you built and ask honestly, did I choose this or did I just accept it? And if the answer is accepted, you give yourself permission to rebuild differently. The hero's journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming who you were before the world taught you to be someone else. Your soul isn't lost forever. It's buried under expectations, under performance, under years of prioritizing everyone else's needs. And reclaiming it doesn't mean destroying your life. It means refusing to keep destroying yourself. These 5 signs aren't a diagnosis. They're a map. They show you where you disappeared. And if you can see where you disappeared, you can find your way back. Not to who you were at 20, but to who you